One thing I really liked about this essay was the closing line, which was the careful composition of chemicals allows my court to glow in the dark, but people admired the glow for its beauty. And what this did for me was, I think it really summated a balance in the essay between like practicality and beauty. And I was wondering if there was one thing about this essay which really stood out or was memorable for you.
I mean, that's definitely a highlight of it. And it's a great turn of phrase, too. Mm-hmm. You know, I think some of the writing is sort of straightforward, the way that many of our engineers write. It gets the job done, and it's pretty concrete. And then there are moments that get kind of artsy and more whimsical and more beautiful, like that one. So that was one of the highlights. If I were to name another highlight of it, I think it's the recognition of the imperfections of it. You know, he talks about asking his teacher if the rough edges are okay and acknowledging that they are. So I think we're hearing from a student who was authentically excited about a project, but recognizes that it wasn't professional quality. You know, it wasn't sort of this flawless thing, and it doesn't need to be. I think we like the honesty of a student who's excited about an idea, even if there's still polish that they can do down the line.
Okay. Yeah, so I think this is a really interesting prompt in that you have students describe an object as opposed to describe an experience. And although they are describing the experience of creating the object, it's less about like a transformative experience than it is like just this object itself. And so I'm wondering, how does one go about illustrating their creations or their inventions in an effective way?
Sure. Yeah, I think the point of this was to tailor to students who have created something with their hands, whether it's art or whether it's engineering, and it's something that, you know, they felt powerfully about, that they went to the lengths to put it together. I think the best way to talk about it is not necessarily in the nuts and bolts of step A to step B to step C, you know, not that we like mixed the brownies, we poured the brownies, and we baked the brownies, but tell us about kind of the wave of excitement and enthusiasm and passion that you rode to get there, right? Creating something takes time and takes a certain amount of endurance, you know, to come up with an idea and actually stick with it, to not just give up and say, forget this, you know, I don't want to do this anymore.
So I guess this is kind of a similar question, but I'm wondering, how important is the actual creation in this essay?
Mm-hmm. The actual creation is not that important, right? I think it matters to us because it mattered to you. You know, if it's important to the applicant, it's important to us. I don't care if you built like a spaceship that could actually go to Mars, or if you made like a really sort of choppy replica of a doctor's office for your little sister who wants to play doctor, right? The quality of the production, you know, the level of artistry that goes with it isn't really our concern. That's not what we're judging you on. I think what we're looking for is what excited you about doing this. Like, why did you do it in the first place? And what was the process like for you? And what did you learn from that? Or what did you experience in doing that? In our world, I think the outcomes aren't as important as the time and thought and care and enthusiasm that you put into the process.